to expand benefits. And what this amendment says is do not cut Social Security. Now, I think a number of my Republican friends will say, well, we're not going to cut Social Security for anybody on Social Security today.
So about 16 million Americans will lose their unemployment benefits this week. Multiple lawmakers in Congress are urging the White House to send out another stimulus check of $1,000 and even $2,000 a month. Many lawmakers in Congress want President Biden to send out a fourth stimulus check very soon. There's one big issue, and it's that Democrats and Republicans can't seem to get along. They're actually holding back our stimulus check money. Who is to blame for holding back the stimulus checks, everybody? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family.
On infrastructure, in terms of the people he's speaking to this afternoon, will one of them be Mitt Romney?
We will give readouts of who he's spoken with once we've completed those calls, but I don't have anything to preview for you at this moment.
Is this the first time that he's starting to kind of reach out to them? He's been really focusing on Capito up until now.
That's right. We've been engaged with a range of Democrats and Republicans, including members who have been in conversation through this group at a staff level. He's obviously had discussions with a number of them about how he moves his ideas forward. So I wouldn't make it as firm as a first time, but certainly discussing this as a viable path forward at his level.
So Americans living in some Republican-led states could lose their unemployment benefits this week, almost 3 months before the extra aid is slated to end. At least 25 states led by Republican governors decided in May and June to prematurely drop out of several relief programs, including those that provide an extra $300 a week on top of regular state unemployment benefits and expanded eligibility for jobless aid. The supplemental benefits are not poised to expire until September 6th. Alaska, Iowa, and even Missouri will be the first to opt out of this, and this ends the crisis era programs for out-of-work Americans on June 12th. The other states that are terminating benefits early include states like Georgia, Florida, and Texas. Now folks, those states will stop giving unemployed workers an extra $300 in benefits sometime over the summer. According to one estimate published by the Century Foundation, roughly 16 million Americans will lose their unemployment benefits as a result. GOP lawmakers were quick to blame the extra unemployment aid for the anemic job growth, although experts have also cited a lack of childcare and fears of contracting it for the hiring shortage. What are your thoughts on this, everybody? Are the unemployment benefits keeping people out of work? Tell me your thoughts on this in the comments below. There remains 7.6 million fewer jobs than in February of 2020. That's before the crisis began. The average state unemployment benefit is about $330 per week, with the federal supplement Americans were receiving around $630 in weekly unemployment benefits. That's about $32,000 annually, or roughly double the nation's minimum wage. President Joe Biden has said that the unemployment benefits will end in September as planned. However, many of his party members will want to make the extra money permanent. Millions of people have been clamoring for recurring stimulus payments, and several lawmakers have even expressed support for more relief aid through the crisis. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. We finally have some breaking news from Congress. A group of senators have just put forward a new infrastructure plan that may be passed soon. President Biden promises to change Social Security as soon as this year. And folks, an infrastructure plan crafted by a group of Senate Democrats and Republicans would cost roughly $1 trillion, and that's a price tag that leaves the senators with work to do to win over members of both parties. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everyone's support. This is your fourth stimulus check update and news report.
Are your people on the Senate side and on the House side ready to accept restraints on Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, all that stuff?
Well, let me divide those. I think on Social Security you'll find more resistance for one reason. It's not part of the deficit. It's not part of the... Right. If you were to increase revenues in Social Security or decrease costs, that would not go into deficit reduction. It would go somewhere else. And there were 29 Democrats, I was one of them, who signed a letter saying do it, but do it separately and later. It's not as immediate as the crisis of Medicare and Medicaid.
Robust support for an equitable, inclusive global economic recovery were the top priorities of our nations as we got together. We know we can't achieve one without the other. That is, we have to deal with the pandemic and in order to be able to deal with economic recovery, which as we're doing.
Now the proposal, which aims to update physical infrastructure, such as transportation and water systems, would cost $974 billion over 5 years, or $1.2 trillion over 8 years. It would include $579 billion in new spending, above the baseline already set by Congress. According to Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, President Biden asked for about $600 billion in new money, and senators have not announced how they plan to pay for the investments. The 10 lawmakers who reached a deal said in a statement that the proposal would be fully paid for and not include tax increases. The group framed the proposal as a compromise to upgrade U.S. infrastructure, with bipartisan support in Congress, and the senators still need to win backing from President Biden and congressional leaders for their plan to gain traction. In a statement responding to the plan, White House spokesman Andrew Bates said questions need to be addressed, particularly around the details of both policy and pay-fors, among other matters. Joe Biden's hopes of channeling billions of dollars into green infrastructure investments to fight climate change are running into the political obstacle of winning over Republican lawmakers, who oppose that approach as unnecessary, excessive spending. The White House's ability to ensure a climate focus in Biden's sweeping infrastructure package is becoming daunting, so much so that key Democrats are warning that the administration should quit negotiating with Republicans, calling it a waste of time. Democratic Senator Ed Markey told reporters, "From my perspective, no climate, no deal. I won't just vote against an infrastructure package without climate action. I will fight against it." Now, this debate is similar to the political and policy differences, complicating President Biden's broader talks over his ambitious infrastructure agenda. The sweeping $1.7 trillion American Jobs Plan making its way through Congress, as Democrats and Republicans argue over what exactly constitutes infrastructure and how much is needed. The president is seeking a newer definition of infrastructure, trying not only to patch up the nation's roads and highways, but also to rebuild its economy with new kinds of investments for the 21st century. What do you think, everybody, about the Biden administration? And what do you think about the Democrats and the Republicans? Do you believe that they will send out the fourth stimulus check? And should they stop playing political games and help out the American people? Leave your thoughts on this in the comments below. Now, the annual cost of living adjustment, or COLA, for Social Security benefits in 2022, usually announced in October, could be 5.3%. That's the highest since 2009, based on Thursday's Consumer Price Index announcement. The Consumer Price Index in May rose 5% from 12 months earlier, and that is the largest yearly gain since August 2008, that the Labor Department reported on Thursday. From April, the Consumer Price Index grew 0.6%, representing the second largest advance in over a decade. Now, many of you are wondering what President Biden plans to do about the Social Security boost. There are millions of Americans that count on Social Security